What's up, y'all? It's your favorite lawyer. Everybody getting ready. Y'all know spring is coming here. It's knocking on the door. Knock, 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 knock. Y'all already know that Groundhog came and said it was supposed to be 6 more weeks of winter. So that means at the end of March, this will be over with, and we should be looking for spring and summer to approach. Okay. Um, so I have had a few people write in and ask me questions. And so I definitely want to go ahead and address these questions. Um, so let's start off with the first one. Okay, so someone says, I have a question for you regarding domestic violence of a child. My friend's daughter told the shelter where she was living and that she hit her with a plastic serving spoon on her head and she had an open scratch after it. It was totally an accident, but the staff at the shelter reported it and called the ambulance because she did have a scratch and they didn't inform her. So the ambulance came without her being aware and said they got a call and that she needs to go to the hospital. She was fine, but because her daughter told the staff that she hit her with a spoon and that she was afraid to go in the room because she didn't want to get in trouble, made it look like the friend was trying to harm her. Anyway, she got arrested because of what the staff said, and they didn't read her rights. She's never been arrested, never gotten in trouble, so they let her go, and she has a temporary order of protection against her daughter, which is 6 years old, by the way. She has 3 kids and was told by a criminal court she can get her other 2 kids, but can't go near the oldest. ACS was mad that her family gave her the other 2 kids and hurried and called a family court judge to take over and get an order of protection against the other 2 and have a I guess they're saying ACS must be Adult and Children's Services. That's how this person is abbreviating it. And have ACS take custody. She got scared because she's never been in this situation, and she has family that could take the kids, but they didn't let them. Her family came and got them, and then she ran to a friend's house because she was depressed about the situation. She's a great mom, and the shelter she was at could vouch for her. She takes care of 3 babies herself and would never harm her child. The shelter knows that her daughter is spoiled and throws a fit when she can't get her way. Anyway, she may have a warrant for arrest for not giving her children to ACS. What should she do? Okay, guys. This tends to happen a lot, especially with the fact that with government growing as big as it is in our lives, okay? This type of thing happens, when a parent is wrong and when a parent hasn't done anything, child. Okay? For whatever reason, they like to come with the charges. Okay? And I've noticed that they're coming with many more charges than they've been coming with in the past. And right now, and I'm not trying to be rude, disrespectful to anyone. I'm really talking about the government when I say this. Okay? I'm not trying to be rude and disrespectful to the government, but all litigation is a way to get money. Okay, and the government is hurting. Corona has hurt the government. Now, even before the government was hurting, they would, bring charges that I felt like were not good charges. But things work themselves out. They have a way of working themselves out. I'm gonna say this: if the mom hit the child by accident on the head with a spoon, and there's nothing that there's no no bad, how do I say this? No malfeasance, no unfair play involved. Mom should be fine. I know she's depressed and she's going through a lot because they're trying to take her children from her, and I get that. And a lot of the times I feel that they take children, from certain people, and it's other people out here that really don't need their children, and you can't pay CPS to get them kids. I don't understand. And I never have had a full understanding of it. I have friends that work for CPS and that are pretty high up in CPS, and I mean, it's just kind of what comes across their desk. That's just kind of how CPS deals with it. If it's brought to their attention, they're going to deal with it. If it, rises to a certain level, it's almost like they're not being unfair or impartial, but they're not being unfair. They're trying to be impartial. But it hit their desk, and the shelter called, and so that's why they had to do something. And then speaking to the child and whatever, and I understand what you're saying. The girl saying she doesn't want to get in trouble, blah blah. It looks as if she's being beat all the time or something, but that's not what it is. And so you're worried that now it's making your friend look bad, like the child is scared of her, but in all actuality, the child just throws hissy fits and wants her way. That happens, and there are a lot of children that are out here like that, and kids are kind of doing this more now, especially since they kind of know that they have rights. You know, but when we were growing up, we didn't, I mean, we were aware of our rights, but it wasn't so openly notorious. And so children just didn't challenge as much as they do now. Children are indoctrinated and taught constantly to challenge at this point now. And so they just kind of will tell a teacher, you know, tell police on their parents. It's just kind of what happens. I think in this case, it just is it's a bunch of unfortunate incidences and it looks bad. But what your friend needs to do is just approach and attack head on and sift through the BS. And then eventually CPS will see, the courts will see, and she'll be fine. But I know she is depressed. I understand that. But don't worry. Slow and steady wins the race. That's something that I have always said. And I will live and die by that. Slow and steady wins the race. I never bite off a big old case and try to just attack, and look for a bunch of results right away. That just doesn't happen. It's unfortunate that you're in this situation, Mom. Tell your friend it's unfortunate that she's in this situation. However, slow and steady wins the race. And when you're dealing with CPS, slow and steady wins the race. See what the allegations are. See what you need to do. If they have filed a case against you in court, they will appoint you an attorney. Work with your attorney. Work your services. Get your children back. Fight your criminal case. If you cannot afford an attorney, they will appoint you one. Let the thing speak for itself. Use the facts, line everything up, and do what you have to do. Does that make sense? Make sure those children are with your family. And it seems as if the family has gotten the children. Make sure all of the children are with the family. All three. Make sure they're all three in the same location. Okay? And fight. Okay? It may take about a year for you to get the children back if they filed a court case and the and probable cause was found on the family side. It may take a year. Okay? Fight. Just fight the case. Do what you gotta do for your kids to be able to get your kids back. Criminal case, fight the case. Okay? And you're gonna fight that case, and hopefully you have all your kids back, and they can really beat that criminal case, if that makes sense. Okay? So what we're talking about is something that's not gonna take. And I'm going off a few things that you told me. Okay, I can't really give you legal advice because I really don't know everything that's, you know, going on. I'm just telling you, slow and steady wins the race. Get the kids back. Fight the criminal case. Once you get the kids back, you should be able to really fight that criminal case. Okay, and I'm gonna say it like that. Because once you get those kids back, they're no longer temporary managing conservatorship of the state. It's back to you. And then you can delegate whether or not that child is going to move forward and testify. Okay? I ain't gonna repeat that. I ain't gonna hear me repeat that no more today. But that's kind of that's the goal. Okay? That would be the goal. If it were me, that would be my goal. Okay? And we're not gonna bring you to the court of public opinion on that because this is not a public opinion type of question. Okay? But I know that many of y'all have been through this. I want y'all to uplift this woman in the comments. Say the experiences that you all have had if you don't have a problem with doing that, or experiences that your friends have had, and lift this young lady up in the comments. Because you know what? A lot of people that go through these CPS issues are not bad parents. It is a happenstance issue. It looks worse than it is, and then they've got to feel it out to see that it's nothing. And CPS, I will say, once they figure out it's nothing, they're gone about their business. Okay, so ma'am, just slow and steady wins the race. Everything is not going to happen in the time that you want it, but God will pull you through. If you don't believe in God and you believe in the universe will pull you through. Confucius will pull you through. Buddha will pull you through. Okay, Muhammad will pull you through. That very thing in which that divine thing is going to pull you through. Okay? It will pull you through. Because I tell people all the time, it's not about how perfect you are, because nobody's perfect. Nobody. At the end of the day, just try to live your life and try to do right. Just try to do right. You're going to fall short. You're going to make mistakes. We all do. I included. And just have the heart and the thought process that you want to do better. As long as you want to do better, better's going to come. Am I making sense? As long as you want to do better, better's going to happen. And it's not going to happen right away, because when you speak something into existence, or when you're feeling a certain type of way, there are spirits all over. And the spirits hear the good things that you mumble. The spirits hear the bad things that you mumble. So the spirits know that you're trying to keep a healthy and happy attitude. So there may be evil that may come your way to try to throw you off from being happy, whole, and healthy and reaching towards that mark. Ignore it. Remain steadfast on your path and you'll be fine. And that's everybody. And as long as you live your life like that, when stuff like this happens, God will pull you through. It will come, you will be pulled through. It's when you have the venom, the malfeasance, you're coming from a bad place, you don't want to accept, even internally, that you may have done something wrong, and and God has to show you by letting it happen, letting the bad thing happen because you're not listening. But as long as you're listening in life, you're trying to strive for the mark. You're just trying to do a little better than you have been doing, and you're trying to graduate in life. You're fine. Things will work out for you. When trials come, the angels and the forces will maneuver things out of your way for you to persevere. Okay, ma'am? And so I know that you are in a shelter right now. I want you to hear me. I know that you are in a shelter right now, but this is not something that's going to be your life. You're going to get out of that shelter, girl. You're going to get out. You're going to move on. You're going to do what you have to do. You're going to continue to be a good mother. And we're going to say continue to be a good mother. Because just like your friend said, you are a good mother. You're going to continue to be a good mother. You're going to use this as a learning experience. Okay? Just use it as a learning experience. And I want you to understand that this seems so big right now. It seems so big. It's this big right now, baby. But I want you to look back. In about 5 years, it's going to be this small. It's going to be this small. It's going to be this small because you're going to beat this. You're going to get past this. And you're going to learn from this. Okay? Although you may struggle, the struggle is a constant. Because life is a struggle. But perseverance is going to be something that you get, that you receive, and that you continue to have as long as you just stay steadfast and ride the mark. Just try to do what's right. Just try. Have that in your heart. You'll be fine. Okay? We're going to move on, guys, to another question. Oh, and I'm sorry. Let me address the warrant for your arrest. I apologize. If you have the children, baby, give the children away. I hate to say this. You have to give the children, okay? You can't keep the babies. And I'm not saying you did anything to these kids. I know you didn't do anything to these children. I got it. But your baby, look at me. Look at Allie. You're going to have to give those kids up, okay? You can't keep them kids. Because you keep those children, baby, and they're going to move harder against you in family court and possibly on the criminal side. Maybe not, but they're going to stress you. They're going to crunch you. They're going to break you, okay? And it's because they have reason to believe. I didn't say that you did, but what they believe is that these two smaller children possibly cannot make an outcry. That if they are being abused, nobody said you're abusing those kids. You listen here. I didn't say you're abusing them, baby. Just listen to me. The state's position is going to be that in case these children are being abused, they just want to make sure they're not. It sucks that they are bringing the case on the two ones that we haven't had anything to say. Nothing. Nobody said anything about these two kids. It sucks that they're bringing them up. But they believe they can't make an outcry. CPS has moved to do what they're going to do, and you can't stop them. You can't stop them right now because it seems as if they're in emergency custody land. And because you're running, there's no way to stop them because you're not talking to them, and they're going to do whatever they think they need to do to try to protect these two. So to allow you to run with them, you can't do it. Let me tell you why you can't do it, baby. You can't because you have that 6-year-old. That 6-year-old is in custody. It's in custody. Now, although your family has that 6-year-old, that 6-year-old is the subject of a CPS case. It seems as if you have family court involved, and the judge has stated that the two need to be handed over to the state of Texas. That's fine. You're going to hand them over. And I've done this, and that's one thing with my clients. We're not going to run with children that we're not supposed to have. We're just never going to do that. And I've had to scrape people up off this floor in here and in that conference room and scrape them up, and I've had to get the children, and I've fed the babies, played with the babies until CPS came to pick them up. Because I will make sure either CPS pick them up or I will get a clean family member to hand that child over to CPS. That's one thing I will not do when I'm going to fight CPS is have a client that has a baby, that there are orders that they're not supposed to have that child. Okay? Now, when this first happened and popped off, what you probably should have done, baby, was hand those other two over to whom whatever family member already had the one. Because remember, you said your family was there. They wouldn't allow your family to take that one. After a while, I guess after a couple of days, they let your family member take the one because they had to check that family member out. That family had to be, they had to go through a process. CPS has a process where they screen homes, and they have to make sure that your family passes the home study, etc. Once your family passes the studies, they'll allow the child to be there. So that's, baby, you winning. You're winning, baby, because you already have a family member, dear, that has passed, girl, that has the other child. That family member, baby, is going to need to have the other two. Now, it's where it comes to difficult. Sometimes you can't put 3 kids in one place, but you're going to try it, baby. Because let me tell you what you don't ever want to do. You don't want to split your children up. It's not a bad thing. If you have to do it, then you do it. But I always tell my clients, if you can go around splitting up your children, go around it. And try to find a family member that can take all of them. Because what you start to teach CPS is, I don't mind them being split up. They already split up. They can be split up. Girl, then they're trying to send one child here, this one here, foster family here. They're split up. Keep them together. That's your strong point. Keep the kids together, baby. But you got to get rid of the children. Okay? Do not run from CPS. Do not run from CPS. Just don't do it. When they have your child and they're involved and they already got kids and stuff, don't run, baby. Don't run. Okay? Don't. You need to attack this head on. And again, don't you leave behind that 6-year-old. So those other two, wherever that 6-year-old is, you probably want to see if they will take the other two and move. Boom. Your goal is to have all the 3 children at one location. You work your services, you fight your case, you beat it. You get your kids, you beat your criminal case, you move on in your life. You don't let this happen again, okay? That's the goal. So with that being said, they're not going to arrest you for not giving children up. You don't get arrested for that. Not outright, because people run with children all the time. But what it's going to do is it's going to mess with the fact is that you will get that other child back. If you're not complying with the court and the court's orders, the court cannot trust you. The court will not give you any reprieve later on. Does that make sense? You play with them with these 2 and run around all you want to, and the judge knows that. It's going to be longer till you get that 6-year-old back, if at all. But you probably will get that. You will get that 6-year-old back. We're going to speak that into existence. But you don't want to that 6-year-old is gone, baby. Give the child up. Cooperate with CPS, okay? No warrant won't be out for your arrest. But your children need you. Don't you forsake that 6-year-old for those other 2. Because what did we just talk about? Having a good, clean heart, right? Trying to do what's right. Even though in a world full of wrong. And so, forsaking the 6-year-old for those other 2, that doesn't seem right, does it? So I don't think that that's something you want to do. You don't want God to spank you. Whatever you believe in, to whoop you, to spank you, to show you, right? You don't want to be taught. You can teach yourself the lesson, correct? Get the children. They got to go somewhere. No, there's no arrest warrant, but those children need to be handed over. They are products of the state of Texas at this point, just right now, from what you're telling me. Seems as if there are court orders, and you got to get the child up. And I tell my clients this anyways. Let me tell y'all. And this probably is going to take my whole little show, this question. But this is a wonderful question, and people go through this every day, believe it or not. We don't like CPS, but they're necessary. Sometimes they go above and beyond because of what other people say to them, but they're going to get through it. You have to fight. Once you are in court, you have to fight. You cannot run. You run, your children will be in foster care. And then they will continue on until they get them other 2. And you'll never get a chance at those. They'll give you due process, but your history will be so messed up for running and not dealing with a 6-year-old that you won't be giving yourself a fighting chance. Give yourself a fighting chance and stand up and fight. That's what you always do. Whatever is, it will come out in the end that you are innocent. But please cooperate. Okay? It's just what I want to let you know. So although no warrant may be out for your arrest, there's a warrant out. God gonna put a warrant out for your ass. Okay? The universe gonna put a warrant out for you. If something's gonna happen, you're gonna be in a messed up position. You're gonna be somewhere riding in a car with somebody. They're gonna get pulled over by the police. Some gonna have just something, and you're not gonna be ready for it at that time. You approach it head on. You take control by approaching it head on. It may not be what you want to do by giving them up, but you can control when they go, what time they go, who they go to. If you just go ahead and step forward and comply. When people look at me all the time, you a lawyer. Sometimes I've had people tell me, you a lawyer. You're supposed to be telling me what I want to hear. You not telling me no. Sometimes you concede, you lose a battle to win the war, baby, because you only care about the war being won, not these battles. And that's why I tell you, slow and steady wins the race. You always have to know your goal. Slow and steady wins the race, boo. Okay, for real, I'm done now. Let's move on. Okay. Which is the best route to take? Husband fathered a child 4 years ago. Another man who is deceased is on the birth certificate. Nothing has gone through the court yet. They only have positive paternity results. The woman now wants money 4 years later. Woman wants to do everything outside of the legal system. Bio father is in the military. He's not interested in paternal relationship but is okay with paying the child support. What is the best route to take? Okay. This gentleman is in the military. Okay, let me tell y'all about military people. I represent a lot of them. They're very systematic. They're like officers. They're very systematic in their thinking. Okay, the bio father, and you're not asking me all this, but I'm gonna tell you because let me get the gavel up. I'm gonna take y'all to the court of my public opinion. Let me tell y'all something about military men and police officers. So you can just understand. And this is just how they are, okay? And this is how they are, and I don't think that it will ever change because you have to understand that a person that is willing to put their life on the line daily in furtherance of someone else's business, that's a bad melodrama, okay? They're not scared of much, and they're very black and white. In order for them to do their job on a daily basis, they must be black and white in thought process. This gentleman, I'm going to just pull you to the court of my public opinion. I'm going to rule that the reason he doesn't want a relationship with this child is because you let that man sign that birth certificate. You was wrong for that. Because at the end of the day, you knew I had reason to know that this military gentleman was the father. So what you've done is you've lied to the child. And this happens, and I'm sorry, you're in the court of my public opinion on this one. This is what women like to do. They like to lie to their children about who their father is because they have some uncanny, gumption that it's a good idea. Okay? It's never a good idea. Because either the child is going to grow up and be very pissed off that you lied to them. They're going to feel lost at a time in which they're trying to find themselves, which is normally when they become young adults. It makes you look like a damn liar to children. When they, you've been lying to me my whole life. What the hell else have you lied about? It's just very, very, very sneaky. It's very, very underhanded. It's very, very yuck. It's very, very not something that I am an advocate of at all. And the reason that I'm not an advocate for shit like that is because bad shit, I told y'all about loose ends last week. Didn't I tell you about loose ends? I told you, they come up and they pop your ass. They smack in your face, take your eye out. Them loose ends you leave dangling. It always, and that's what's happening right now, ma'am. The daddy done died. Now you looking for somebody. Now you need some money because the man who you been lying to the child and saying was the daddy is not dead. You don't got no money from him. You can't get no money no more. So now you want some child support from this other man now. But see, you should have wanted the child support from the right man to begin with. And the deceased gentleman, he wouldn't have had to go to his grave thinking he was the father of a child when he wasn't. That's some bullshit. Excuse my French. That man died, I assume, thinking that he was the father of the child. I assume. Now, if he died not thinking he was not the father of the child and just wanted to step up and take care of this child, it's still improper that you didn't put that child, the real father, on child support and give him his rights. Because you could have done that and still allowed this child to have a bonus father. Right? So I'm a rule. You ready? The reason that the military gentleman doesn't want anything to do with the child is the mother's fault. She knew. And nobody is better situated to tell you who the father of a child is than the woman. And that's just absolutely it. And that's a burden that we carry. But guess what other burden we carry? The seed for 9 months. And you know better. Okay? So, the woman wants to do everything outside the legal system. Bio father's in the military, so he is shit. There's no other way to tell you. He's stiff. He ain't playing. You said it wasn't his child. You played with him. You gave his child away to another man. Go ahead. I don't want nothing to do with the child. I'll pay the child support and move around. Don't call me. He'll change. But this woman, she's gonna have to atone for what she did to this man and to the child. And I don't see an atonement going on. That's why a bio father doesn't want anything to do with the child. What should she do? What's the best route to take? Ma'am, you in the court of my public opinion. I'm a rule that you've been messing and stuff up. You've been it up on your own all this time. You've had the child 4 years, 5 years, whatever, and you've been messing it up. So why? And now you want to stay out of court. Why? Ain't that what got you here? Ain't that what got you here? Is that not what got you where you are today? With a child that doesn't know who the real daddy is, thought it was a deceased gentleman. Deceased gentleman is gone. You ain't got no money. Now you need the money from the person who the real father is, who you already knew or had reason to know was the father to begin with. Now you don't want nothing to do with the child, and you need money, but you want to do it outside of court. That's what got you here. And I'm ready for you. I'm ready for you to stop. I'm ready for you to stop making decisions right now, because you're not making them with a clear mind. You're not making them for the best interest of the child. That's just what I'm ruling. That's my court. That's my court of my public opinion. That's my personal personal opinion. So no, I don't want you doing nothing outside of court, boo, because you've been doing outside of court and you don't know what you're doing, and you're messing it up. And you might need some guardrails and call a judge and some orders in place so that this child knows who their father really is. Because, and left alone, I wouldn't doubt that you'd get money from this guy and still lie to this girl and tell her daddy dead, and have a daddy in the military somewhere and not know nothing. Not know nothing about it, when this man could be building a relationship with this child. And I'm not even being funny when I say this. Do you know how many benefits this girl can get because that's her father? That you're messing her out of because you wanted to have another person to be the dad. But see, but you could lay up and do him. You could lay up and do that. But he ain't good. He's not good enough for you to tell the truth about. See, let me tell you something, baby. You don't lie to the children about who their father is. If their father is a homeless man on the street, you done it. You done that. You done that action. You did that. So, what you embarrassed for? Tell the child the truth. Your father's homeless. He's hit some hard places in life, but you're not going to be homeless. And I'm going to always make sure you are well equipped in life to make sure that you don't put yourself in these situations. Boom. But see, we care about ourselves so much, we don't care much about the children. We lie. We say we care about the child, but we really don't. We care about ourselves, and so we do stupid stuff like that. That's why you got to ask me a question on how you should do this. I say you need to do it in the court. The reason why is because you've been messing stuff up. All the records are fudged and stuff, and they need to be fixed. And so the only way that we can ensure that they'll be fixed is if a judge fixes it. Okay? Because the judge is going to render every order to fix this mess legally. Once the judge makes all his or her rulings and they get all the orders in place, this child is going to be clear. We're going to have a clear genetic history. We're going to have a clear legal history, a clear medical history, ma'am, because that matters. And this is another thing. I am so tired of people lying about, I don't know who the daddy is, you know where the daddy at. Girl, you don't know if something can happen to your child. I have a child that's born. Sometimes children are born with defects. You don't know where they come from. But if you had a talk with somebody, you would know. But you're too busy trying to lie about who the daddy is, and you don't even know what's going on. So for medical clean lineage, you need to know that. When we perform adoptions in court, that's a filing that must be done. Genetic history and all of that, because if something happens to a person, can you imagine being 40 years old and not being able to tell the damn doctor shit because you really don't know your real parent, you don't know how to access them, and nobody was kind enough to fucking let you know? Excuse my French. And now you got a disease and you don't know who to talk to about it. What? And really, if you knew a little family history, you would be able to tell the doctor something so that they would know what other tests to run to help you. Can you imagine being in that seat at 30 or 40 years old? You know why? But women don't think about that. Sometimes we don't think about that. We just think, I don't like him. He's not a good daddy. We're going to say Trayvon is the daddy. Yeah, but you're not thinking, baby. And this is not affecting you. This is affecting the child. So I think you need to do everything in court, because you need to clear this mess up. You also, although the dad doesn't want anything to do with the child right now, I think that he will. You go through the court, you give him his visitation, whether or not he exercises it, slow and steady wins the race. You just pray on that. You put good deeds out, good prayers up, and he's going to come around. But he's not. Your whole attitude is nasty. You disgust me in the fact that y'all are trying to figure out whether you should do this in court or not. And you done completely fucked up. Excuse me. Lord have mercy. I can't cuss and throw F-bombs. I'm sorry. You completely messed up this child's lineage. Genetics, everything. You have a paternity test. This child doesn't know who she is right now. It's okay though. She's 4. But when she's 40, she needs to know. It has nothing to do with you. You could possibly be dead and gone when she's that old. She has her life to live. She needs to know who she is. If she wants to have a relationship with her daddy, she needs to be able to do that. You don't determine that. The child will determine at some point whether or not she wants to carry on with her father or not when she's old enough. While she's a child, she's a child. She ain't got no wants. She gonna go to her daddy's house and go see her daddy and do what she needs to do. And when she's an adult, she decides that her daddy's not somebody that she likes so much, she can stop talking to him. But see, you tried to make the decision for her long before. And I'm gonna sentence you for that. I'm gonna sentence you. You really don't need no child support from nobody. The child needs it though. Because see, in the court of my public opinion, I'm going to rule that your child support, yeah, you get it. You go through the court, you clear everything up. You get your child support, you put it in an account for that child. Because you never should have needed it. Okay? If he wasn't going to be the daddy, you should have never needed it, boo. So don't spend the money. Stop going to look for money trees. How about that? And take the money and you're going to put it up. And then when the child is 18, the child can have it. How about that? That's what I'm going to rule. You're going to get a separate account. Because baby, you don't care nothing about children. You don't care about money. Who gonna help me? Who gonna help me? Who go? Oh, he dead. Let me come over here. I need money from you. And that's why he don't want to do with the child. It's not that he doesn't want anything to do with the child. It's you. He want anything to do with you. He's pissed off at you. And so, again, we have talked about men in the military. We've talked about police officers. Don't get you no police officer and play with them either, because they will do the same shit. It's not that they don't love. They love. But you are talking about somebody who can put their own feelings aside in furtherance of their jobs and of everything. These are systematic individuals. And one thing you don't want to ever do is mess with a systematic individual, because that person, don't matter how much pressure, no matter how much pressure you apply, they're going to think. You can't think and you wrapped up in emotion. That military man, he ain't never, do you understand me? Ma'am, never. Ma'am, I say it again, bring it around and bring it back. He's never going to be in an emotional situation with you. You understand me? And I'm telling y'all this is go all the women, y'all date these officers, they are not emotional. Everybody thinks they're assholes. They are not assholes. They do love, they do care. But you come with a whole bunch of hoopla and bullshit, they're able to weed you out. And let me tell you why. Because they're systematic. They are survival based. Their brains are survival based. And if you tear them down, and the child is yours, and they know they can never have a relationship with the child without having one with you, and there's too many problems involved, they're just going to say, forget the child for now. She can come find me when she gets ready. I'm not dealing with this mother. And they just sit on it, and they mean it, and they done, and they move on. It has nothing to do with them not loving. That man can think about that child every day, for all we know. It's the way you did him, ma'am. You went and got that other man to sign birth certificate. You know you was wrong for that. And so now he doesn't want to be a part of the child's life. And it's crazy to me that you didn't lead with that. But I personally think you need to do everything in court. Because number one, no, that's not right. It's not right. And it seems as if you're still married to the guy. If you're not gonna be with him, get a divorce. I'm just tired of you asking me. You asking court, girl, go to court and let a judge work it out, boo. Divorce included. You got too many loose ends hanging. Did I tell you about loose ends? Go look, ma'am. Please go on I upload in order. Go look for last week and go look on one of them. And I'm gonna and go see what loose ends. What happens when you have them loose ends? You have too many loose ends, and they all need to be tied up. And I'm going to order you to go to court on all of them, on the divorce, on child support, on all your children. That's what I'm going to order you to do. And don't use the child support money since he wasn't good enough. You put it to the side and give it to the child when the child turns 18. That's what you do. You make sure that child has a very good relationship with that father, because he's in the military. Anything can happen to him at any time. And then she's gonna be with two people that are deceased and not in her life, and looking at your line behind as her only rock and pillar, and that ain't fair. She does need to know who her other family is. It ain't fair, ma'am. That's what I'm gonna rule. That's what I'm gonna rule. That's what I'm gonna rule. I want you to get a divorce, and I want child support orders on all the children, and let the man be a father to all of his children the way he should be. And you stop gallivanting about, because life is not that. Life is serious, and I think you're not taking it as serious as you should be. We are here to have fun, but you are here, ma'am, to leave an impact on your children and on this world. And you don't want your impact to be she went from man to man and took whatever money she could, and the children know who their daddy is, and all of her shit is fucked up. That's not the legacy you need to leave. She's married, I mean, she's still having children with all these other men. Ma'am, that children will look at you. Let me tell you something. They're gonna look at you at one point and they're gonna say, ma'am, mom, my mama is messed up. And that's what's gonna hit their head. She's trying to play. Children will look, I mean, we I don't know what makes us think that as parents they're never going to grow older and have a thought process on us as a person. You are their mother, but they will have a thought process about you as an individual, and you do not want your kids to think you are chicken shit. But girl, you acting like chicken, but you need to clean it all up, and I don't want you cleaning up nothing with an F, nothing at all. I want you sending it all to the court. I want you to take it all to the courts. And I want you to let the judge tell you what you need to do if you don't know. You need to get a lawyer. You need to move on. If you can't afford a lawyer, you need to go to the child support office. You need to let the child support people know, listen, I have so many children by this man. I have children by this person. I'm married, but I need child support orders on all the kids. And let them do as much as they can. At least get your child support orders and all that stuff done. And then, ma'am, you can do your own no-fault divorce. Going on Texas Self-Help. Okay, Texas Self-Help. Texas Law Help also will give you the forms. And once you got all your kids attested to and on child support orders and all that stuff fixed, that no-fault divorce is going to be easy, because clearly y'all have not been living together and don't have property together. Clearly. You ain't been, he's somewhere else. Girl, you have children with they're halfway with another man and he is moved. I don't see there being a bunch of property. But I want you, ma'am, I want all of this lined up. I cannot deal with people who never get divorces, and I call them hood divorces. I call them ghetto divorces, and the reason I call them that, and I got another word for them: honky tonk divorces, trailer park divorces, ghetto hood divorces. And that's when you decide you're not with somebody no more, and you just move on with your life, and you don't get the paperwork, and then y'all just have kids and have other lives and do whatever, and you're still married and you carry on, but y'all are married. That's some hood stuff. That's some trailer park. That's some don't do that. Don't do that, because I mean that causes so many problems for children. If you get sick, I mean that person can determine whether or not to pull the plug on you, and you ain't been with them in 18 years. I don't think we think about these things. I want all your loose ends tied up, ma'am. And I want to update in the next 60 days. I want to update. But I want your loose ends tied up. That's it for today. Because that was just too heavy. It was too heavy things going on. But these are things that happen in all of our lives, and we are not. Let me tell you what we're not doing. We're not talking down to none of these people. We're letting them know that what they need to do to move forward in life, because we've all been there. Amen. Amen. We've all been there. We've all been there. All of us. Okay. So I'm not telling you anything I ain't told me. Okay. You gotta wrap that stuff up. Don't do that hood divorce stuff. I've had family members that have done it, and I've had to get divorces for people. They haven't been together in 20 years, and I'm looking at them like, why in the hell do I have to do this? You should have done this already. You know, I don't know if, ma'am, you're trying to stick around and see if you can get something if he passes, or try to get some sort of military benefits or something. I don't know, but at the end of the day, your kids will get those benefits. You understand what I'm saying? And we're not wanting this man to pass. He's in the military. He's going to live a long life. So we're not clinging on to people and cleaving to them so we can try to get something when they die. Because it's another thing that hood and trailer park and hobo-ish, and we've got a lot of words for them. Dude, they just wait around. I had a client who told me, well, my mom is married to, my dad, and they're not together anymore, but they've been separated for 40 years, but he just died, and my mom was contacted by the hospital, but the girlfriend is up there, and she has said that she's his next of kin, and my mom doesn't know what to do. Girl, move the hell out the way. That's what you do. You ain't been with that man in 40 years. You ain't finna call shots for him. Go sit down. But why would you still be married to him and calling me trying to figure out what you can do, and if it's gonna be some money going on with the dead man? You understand what I'm saying? So that's really what you're around for. That's why you never got your divorce, and that's what you're trying to see, is something gonna come to you. But at the end of the day, just because you're married to him, don't have anything to do with beneficiaries on any life insurance policies. Baby, I'm sure the girlfriend was taking care of it. I ain't heard the mama get nothing yet. She ain't got nothing. The dead husband, she stayed married to him for 40 years. The girlfriend still came up and swiped and diked. Now, I don't know if he has any bank accounts or anything like that she could have got her hands on or something like that, but go ahead. File your stuff in the probate court for what you don't know. Okay? Because I'm pretty sure that man made sure that his girlfriend got what she needed. She had bank accounts with him. She had debit cards. She paid for that funeral some kind of way. She was on his life insurance. Okay? She was on his life insurance. Your mom calling me. So my mama want to know, what should she do? Should she give her the birth certificate, the death certificate, or should she not? Girl, what is your mama gonna hold on to that type of stuff for? What your mama want the death certificate for? What she want to be named next to kin for a man she ain't been with 40 years? She trying to stick around to see if there's some money. Baby, when somebody dies, if it's gonna be some money, people will mail you. They'll find you. It's all these insurance agencies, banks and stuff, they're smart. They know how to find you. Trust and believe you me. You'll get a knock on your door or a call on your phone or some mail to hit your box in 60 to 90 days. Sometimes 60 to 120 if you're owed something. But baby, we need to stop not divorcing people trying to get rich at their passing or at their sickness or at their whatever. Because why are you trying to be tied to somebody you don't want to be with? Next case, moving on. I'm really done. Okay, y'all have a fantastic day. Okay, y'all know what we were gonna do. Slow and steady wins the race. What we are doing is trying to be better than we were yesterday. That's it. We can't do no better. We're not trying to see a whole bunch of change in a small amount of time. We're not gonna stress ourselves out like that. We understand that in life. We have to take things in doses, and we have to push inch by inch sometimes. Sometimes we could take a mile. Sometimes we can take a mile. Sometimes we can't. We can't get that mile. We're not gonna be worried about that. We'll take that inch. We'll take an inch. That's better than we were before, right? All right. Y'all have a fantastic day. Make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit the notification button so that you're able to know every time I upload something. Make sure you put your comments, guys. Please comment. Help these people out. They're not just asking me. They're also asking you. Y'all have a fantastic day. Oh, and my email, booker@bookerlawfirm.com. Put YouTube show in the heading. That way I can go ahead and address it on the show. All right? Y'all have a good one. Bye. Bye. In the words of Magic Johnson's son, EJ, who I love. Bye.